Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to talk about the arrival of a new index. An actual new index, a surprise index, a free index, it turns out, because there are now rules for Renegade Knights in their entirety. So we're talking Armigers and we're talking Dominus class Knights now have their own rules for being filthy, disgusting traitors, and I'm not going to lie, I'm really happy about that, and that may well push me over the edge to getting another one, because let's face it, if you can make your knight look like some sort of unholy abomination, why would you choose any other thing? Like, why wouldn't you do that? You absolutely would do that. So this has been announced via the Warhammer Community site, of course, and to be honest, there's not a huge amount to go over in the article itself. There's just a couple of things that I really like about the article, which I'll of course link down below. And it's kind of a mix of things. Firstly, it is the fact that Games Workshop have obviously listened to what people have been asking, because a lot of people have, I think justifiably, been saying, okay, we've got these new knights. Where's the Renegade version of these? Can we have Renegade rules? Is there any chance we can actually build a Renegade force? Because a lot of people already had, a Renegade Knight already built, and then you get the Armature ones, you get the Dominus ones, but you can't have those as Chaos or Renegade. It's not ideal, but they've listened and they've responded, and there is now a short but still an index available that allows you to build and customize your own Renegade Knights, which is it's perfect. It's exactly what's needed. It's a free index as well. It's just a download, that's all it is, and it contains rules for all the different variants. So there's nothing to complain about here. This is exactly what I love to see. This is exactly what I want to see more of. Games Workshop just listening to the community, listening to the customer base, and saying, okay, we can do that, and then doing it. And then once they've done it, saying, and there you go, there's the rules. Just take them, just use them. They're yours. There you go. Thanks for asking. That is absolutely the best way to do things. It is the best way to keep people happy. It's the best way to build faith and to build trust, and it's the right way to go about things yet again, and they are mostly doing things pretty much exactly the right way, which is really nice. It's really not refreshing as such, because let's face it, they've been doing a really decent job for quite a while, but it's never going to stop being nice to have them do the best thing for any given situation. The article itself, as I say, there's not a huge amount in there that we need to go over, but there are little things that I realised the other day that it would be very easy for the Warhammer Community site. I don't know why, I keep trying to say Warnanner, but that's not a word. The Warhammer Community site, it would be kind of easy for it to feel a bit bland, a bit sterile, like kind of personality less. After all, it is a official Games Workshop thing. The people who write for it are by and large employed by Games Workshop. It is like the official source of news and discussion, and I think it's kind of easy for things like that to kind of be a little bit vanilla, not particularly jokey or funny, just here's the information, these are the words as they are presented, you now know what you need to know, goodbye. I really like the fact that the Warhammer Community team, they've done a ridiculously good job up until this point anyway. I mean, if there's one thing I will constantly gush about how great they are, I mean, it's kind of hard not to. They've done such a good job in building this in such a short amount of time, and from nothing, because the online presence was just not there in any capacity. Having a site this good this quickly is a fucking achievement and a half. But I feel like more personality is starting to creep out than before, and I like it. There are a lot more kind of little daft nods to things that people have said, things that are popular statements among the community. There's just kind of, it feels like there's more jokes, there's more gentle piss taking, both out of themselves and out of, the people who follow this hobby and enjoy this hobby for what it is. Little comments like these I really like, even though they're very simple and they're very small. Like this, but spikier, and again, like this, but more evil. It's only a small thing, but that didn't have to be there at all. But it adds a bit of personality, it adds a bit of, it just adds a certain something to it that stops it just being like a sterile information dump. there is in the article a new stratagem for the Renegade / Traitor / Chaos, however you want to phrase it, Knights, which is the Trail of Destruction, which is a Quest of Traitoris stratagem. When the Renegade Knights march to war, they leave only broken bodies and twisted wreckage in their wake. Use this stratagem when you select a Quest of Traitoris unit, I can't talk today, from your army to make attacks in the shooting or fight phase. Until the end of the phase, you can reroll all failed hit rolls for this model. Good. I like it. Nice and simple. We've seen it before, but the name of it is pretty good as well. Trail of Destruction. So there is that. There is also something else in this article that I absolutely love. It's just okay. I'm going to try not to oversell this, but you already know how much I love kit bashing and converting. You know my the video I did talking about kit bashing and converting, where I showed my Terminator Strike Force Ultra and all of the models contained in that. That is 100%. There's not a standard model in there. There is not one thing in that army that isn't in some way messed with, even if it's just the addition of something small, like the Imperial Knight I have assembled. It really, the only difference to a standard Imperial Knight is the addition of a Demon Prince wing and chains holding it on. It's still a little something extra. It's still an attempt to make it my own. The actual Terminator Strike Force itself is a mix of standard Terminator parts, Dark Angel Terminator parts, and Space Wolf Terminator parts. There isn't a model in that army that is not a combination of all three of those kits, usually with a little bit of something else thrown in as well for good measure. A bit of chaos, a bit of third party. So when I see things like these, like this chap, it just makes me happy. It makes me excited. I love that these are in the article. I love that these are being shown off as, these are members of the community team who have built these, and they look fantastic. They are a proper source of inspiration, of showing what you can do to make these things stand out, make them properly heretical. It looks dead good. I mean, this one especially, it's so outlandish, and I love it for that. I absolutely love it for how mad it is. I mean, taking this, I'm assuming, I think it will be the Siegebreaker cannons off either the Siegebreaker or the thingy shield missiles, taking those off, the carapace points, and putting sorcerers of Tzeentch on there instead, sticking a massive ball of whatever the hell that is, I think it's the Mutalith Vortex beast, isn't it, on top, the tentacles coming out of the thing. It's mental. That is mental. That is undeniably mental. Little touches like the beaks. Is that from the? Are those from the backpack of 1,000 Sun? I'm not sure. But anyway, just these little additions. The 1,000 Sun sorcerers being there on those discs coming out of the carapace. That's mental, and I absolutely love it. It's actually inspirational, and it shows what can be done with converting and kit bashing. That really the only limit is how far you're prepared to go, and if you want to do something like this, you can, and the chances are it'll look pretty fucking awesome. I mean, there's also this one, which again looks crazy good. It's so brutal and over the top. There's so many spikes, and that arm is pretty gross. Let's be honest, that's pretty disgusting. I'm trying to work out what parts there's a lot of green stuff going on there. There's a hand coming out. That could be literally anything going on in there. There's definitely the base of the weapon still on it, but the hand and the tentacles and it's so well done. And again, it's like a proper inspirational thing, and that I'm loving that. That is nasty and horrible, and it looks great. It's so good. It is so good. And finally, even the humble armature, I know it's the addition of Dunecrawler legs, some spikes, and the head of, I don't know what the hell the head of that is. Is that an AOS thing, the head of that? Regardless, it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't personally label that as a huge conversion. It's like the top of one kit and the bottom of another kit, but it looks so good, and it's so well done, and it fits well, and the green stuff worked to dirty it up, and the way that the spikes have actually been mounted as well. This is a small thing. Like, I'm getting so much appreciation for the work that's gone into these, like with the little details. Like, the spikes aren't just glued on, they're drilled in. It adds an extra element. It adds like an extra element of well doneness to the whole thing. It looks great. It looks really good. All three of them look really good, and the more we see of this kind of thing, like, the more we see of this stuff, the happier I'll be, because this side of the hobby it's personally my favourite side of the hobby, and anything that can be done to try and encourage more people to do it, to take the step of not just assembling it, but actually trying to stamp it and make it their own. And, you know, if they look at a model and think, I wish that looked a bit more chaosy, or, you know, a bit smoother, or a bit more streamlined, that you can actually do it. You know, the evidence is right there. You can achieve whatever you want with these kits if you put the effort in, if you put the work in, if you try and make it your own. It's something that is absolutely possible to do. And having those examples of like Renegade Knights, of Chaos Knights, actually on there on the page, I absolutely love that, and I'd love to see more of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's what's available now. The index for Renegade Knights. It's a really good move by Games Workshop. I'm really happy they've done it. I'm loving the examples they've given of kit bashing them to make them look as chaosy and heretical as possible. Just more of this. More of it in general. Just everything about that article, what it's announcing, the content of it, and the inspiration that it gives, more of that would make me an incredibly happy person. So yeah, go and download it, start building a Knight Force, and use it to annihilate loyalists, because that is the way forward. That's very heretical. That's very... I might as well just go full chaos at this point, let's be honest. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do you think this might push you into getting more Imperial Knights? Because I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen with me. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I'm reasonably certain, having seen these conversions, that I'm going to have to do something similar myself at this point, which... I've got so many projects, it's such a bad idea, but oh well, what are you going to do? It's the plastic crack, you've got to buy more. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, whether you will go ahead and start kit bashing some horrendous traitors off the back of this. In the meantime, feel free to click the videos, the Patreon, subscribe, all of that. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.